Hello, welcome back to Rev Endurance Sports and another edition of Industry News. And Peloton has seemed to be my latest punching bag, and I just have a pretty genuine interest in this because I saw how just ridiculous their growth was, and I'm just I'm really hoping for the new CEO. I mean, he is in a very unenviable position. He's got to take a company that is sinking. Another analyst called it spiraling out of control. I mean, there is a huge amount of pressure, and we all root for the underdog, right? We all say, God, if this guy could pull this off, that would be pretty amazing. So that's why I keep talking about Peloton, because I'd like to see a success out of this. But as you saw from the headline, their fourth quarter net operating loss was $1.2 billion. Now that is a large number. But let's talk about what a net operating loss is. And that's basically you have more tax deductions than you have taxable income. And this is very common with small companies that start up, and they got to buy the fixtures, they got to buy inventory, they got to buy a bunch of stuff. So they have like taxable deductions of some sort, but they're not making much money yet, right? So you have more taxable deductions than you have taxable income. And so that's a net operating loss. All right. So in this case, this is I wouldn't call it a mature company, but it's not a startup. It didn't, come up in the last 2 years. It's been around a little bit longer than that. But I'm going to read you some numbers because I want to make sure I quote them right. So revenue was down 28% from 937, and I'm rounding up just a little bit, 937 million down to 679 million. And then the product revenue, which bikes, apparel, accessories, that was down 55%. So if revenue's down 28% and product revenue, so revenue as a whole and then product revenue, well, what was the good news? Is there good news? Yes, their subscriptions went up 36%. I've mentioned in previous videos, your subscriptions, they create a floor. It's not something you can count on, but at least that's coming in all the time, and you don't have to sell another widget to make money that month, right? So, but you've got a lot of expenses, so you need to sell widgets. So down 28% for overall revenue, 55% down on just their product side, but because you've got a 36% increase in subscriptions, and that number was, it doesn't state what it was, but you can back into it. So that revenue is now $383 million in subscriptions. And we're just talking Q4. So that's a lot of money coming in. So why, what are all these losses from? Well, they're ceasing all manufacturing in the U.S., all future manufacturing plans. They had purchased a building, they had purchased a company, they had floor space, they had all kinds of stuff. And now all of that, they're just getting rid of it all. You've got the 2,800 employees as well that they have let go. And they're moving this stuff to Taiwan, offshore. So the way the CEO posts this as a positive, because you always got to spin stuff to a positive light. So the loss reflects the substantial progress we made this last quarter in re-architecting the business to reduce the current and future inventory overhang. So too much inventory still. Converting fixed to variable costs. So, if you've got a lease on a building, you get rid of it, and now you got other expenses, but at least you don't have this fixed cost. I keep my rent, my lease very low here so that I can still enjoy a quality of life. So that's a fixed cost that I purposely keep low. And addressing numerous supply chain issues. And then this progress, plus the reduced cash flow burn, is the positive story behind the headline loss. Now, he also says that they met their goals for the fourth quarter. And of course, this is how you look at it and say, yes, it looks bad, but we met our goals. Our goals were to do this, this, and this, and this, and we did that. Now, he's bringing over a lady by the name of Liz Coddington, and she will join the company as a CFO, so Chief Financial Officer. And she was part of his, McCarthy's team, finance team when they were at Netflix. And Netflix is another story, but, it's not bike related, so I'm not going to cover it. But they've lost a lot of money too. And she was also part of Amazon, which then ties into the final point I wish to make. And that is that as of Wednesday, Peloton announced, and Wednesday, we're talking last week. This is August, what's today? The 29th, August 29th, 2022. They announced that for the first time, their guide, bike, some clothing, and some accessories will be sold through the Amazon channels. And this is new because they always sold exclusively through their own sales channel and their own e-commerce website. So this is new of them going over to Amazon. So, maybe that's how this thing is going to turn around, but we'll see. And I believe that Amazon thing is also because they've let go of so many staff and customer service and everything else. So, they're now going to outsource, I guess, through Amazon and use their and leverage their distribution and things like that. So anyway, that's all for today on Peloton. But, it makes me think, and actually my girlfriend brought it up. She's like, well, didn't someone just loan them $750 million? Yes, they did. They just got a 5-year loan from Wall Street. So they didn't say who, for $750 million, and they lost 1.2 here. And I'm sure before they got that loan, they knew this was coming. And what are your numbers? What are you projecting? So, these companies that got involved in this $750 million loan, I hope they didn't go blindly into this negotiation, or into this contract and loan. But anyway, I'm just curious. Are you rooting for the underdog? Is this storyline, does it interest you? And would you like to hear more about it? And, what are your thoughts about a company who's lost that much money, still gets a loan? Is this the type of company you would invest in? Their stock is down significantly. Anyway, that's all for today. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you up the road.